Hello and welcome to Burning Questions. It's Breeders' Crown Finals weekend, and we have an all-star cast to match the magnitude of the occasion. And I've got a funny feeling we're going to have an enjoyable time here. There's going to be some questions that are going to cause some consternation, maybe some arguments, but you know what? Everyone appreciates each other at the end of the day. Hey, Clayton, Tonkin, how are you, brother?
Good, mate. You?
I'm well. I couldn't believe how chill you were last weekend. Everyone's running around. You just had a spring. You stepped 31 horses there, and you looked like you didn't have a care in the world, mate.
Oh, well, you get used to it after doing it a few times. It was one of them things where last week sort of everything went to plan, so I wasn't too stressed. So, it was good.
But it's a big dance this weekend, isn't it? So as great as it was last Saturday night, it is this weekend where you want to strike your blows.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, this is the main sort of thing that we aim up for. So hopefully we've got everything in order and the team's going good. So I'm sure they'll run a great race.
Are you starting to get a few grey flecks in the bit? I mean, I've been grey for a while now. Are you starting to just get, is there a little bit of colour going on here?
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of colour, probably through a bit of stress, but I actually just give it a bit of trim up so it looks a little bit faded. So I thought it'd make me look a bit sharper for Saturday night. So, there is a few greys getting on.
Don't start with facial hair and Nathan Jack. He's going to come to the track on Saturday night with a razor and attack me in the studio. Nathan, how are you, my friend?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Are you guys are you prepared for the question coming up later about school captain and the lost storm? I mean, it's going to get a little orcs, but you can deal with that, can't you?
I'm sure I can deal with it, yeah.
I think you can. And unfortunately, Clayton didn't get the memo that we're wearing blue today, apparently. Nathan and Andy look like long-lost brothers. Maybe Andy's the uncle. How are you, Andrew?
I'm fine, thanks. And, I might have to be referee here today. We'll see what happens.
As long as you don't leak any information. Like old mate Matthew Pell.
AFL.
Rightio, question one of the burning questions. We've got 5 today, such a big weekend that it is. And this one's a nice, easy one to get us into it because it involves nobody apart from Emma Clayton. Have the draws afforded Rockin with her Group 1 dream, or is the girl named Susan even better than she seems? How confident are you with Susan is her name, Clayton Tonkin?
I think she'll run a great race. I do think the other one's going to be awful hard to beat from the draw. It seems like it's a great little racehorse, and it's probably where the barrier draws have lobbed. It's it's a race to lose. If Susan's sort of on a game, I'm sure she'll run a great race, and I wouldn't be swapping mine. Like I'm really confident she'll run a great race, but the other one will be awful hard to beat.
Now, Emma told me during the week she still hasn't come to terms with having trotters around. Like it's still not a big fan. Are you enjoying it, Clayton?
It's all right. I'm not a huge trotters fan, to be honest. The ones that we've had of all can go a bit, but they're quite touchy where sort of it's hard to keep them sound and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's something we've got to do. Have a few trotters, but yeah, it's not something I love. But if you get a horse like Susan given to you, she's a quality filly.
I'm assuming you do. Do you work them with the paces? Because all of your trotters seem to have extreme high speed. Do you work them with the paces?
Yeah. No, we work them. I try to match up the trotters with a few of the slower paces. It's sort of just one of them things where I haven't got enough trotters to work them together. So I've got to work them with the paces. So it's just the way it is.
Your slower paces go about 54 there last up. Nathan, what are your thoughts on this query of the first of the burning questions today?
Yeah, well, I was going to say the same. I didn't know he had slow paces. If he does, he doesn't show anyone. It never fronts them up anyway. I'm the same as Clayton. Like I think the 3 fillies are outstanding fillies, and I think they're probably, if not better than the Colts, maybe if not as good anyway. And I think, what they've been running lately, the halves and that's just unbelievable. But I think the barrier draw is going to be crucial for them, unfortunately, for Clayton's sake. I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat the other one. But if she does anything wrong, then I think it brings Greg's filly and Clayton's filly right into it.
I haven't got a question about the locomotive. Is he going as well as he was earlier in the season?
I think he is. His last run was really good. The Redwood was hard to get a guide. He made a break and was never comfortable. Before that, he ran 4th in town, but he done a lot of work early, and I thought his run was quite good. But he felt really good last start.
Straight off the inside early?
We'll stay there for a while.
Stayed there for too long if Stevie G decides to play up.
That'll change your mind, won't it?
No, too late. Andy, your thoughts on the 2-year-old Breeders' Crown trotting final for the fillies?
Yeah, obviously the barrier draw favours Miles's horse. But I think when they clashed in the Tatlow, there was a really short margin between them. And I thought Susan is her name was a lot better performance. So even though she's formed badly, I'm sticking with her. I reckon she'll be able to get the job done regardless of the bad barrier. And
well, I already know this because I've texted you. But I'm right that Just a Bit Touchy was overs at $18 in the first race, yes?
Yeah, obviously she had a nice hit line really good. It's been done quite as well, but we think we've sort of got her back on track. And yeah, it could be a good barrier draw because it could be a little bit race that race, but I think she's run a pretty good race.
I don't know what's going on behind somebody, but there may be a vampire or a poltergeist behind somebody because something's going. So be safe, everybody out there, during the burning questions. It's tough enough to answer these questions, let alone have vampires and zombies after you. Question 2, Tilly's done it 3 times. Can this weekend make it 4, or is the lady dressed in red too gifted at her core? Straight away to you again, Clayton. It's great to have. It's a proper rivalry because Tough Tilly has beaten. There's that poltergeist. Tough Tilly has beaten Ladies in Red 3 times. I tend to think, though, with these draws, even if Tough Tilly leads, Ladies in Red will beat her, but you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I think it's, one of them things where Ladies in Red's going to lob outside her pretty quick. And I personally think Ladies in Red will be too strong for her. I know they'll be keen to hold her out and test her and all that sort of thing. But the time she has beaten her, she's been in the second row and she's had to work to the breeze. And it's one of the things where this week she's going to be straight outside it. And I'm sure Sal's smart enough to, apply the pressure when he needs to. And he won't be doing all that work to get there. So, I think Ladies in Red will be too strong for her myself.
We're getting plenty of sound effects here. There's coughs in the background. Poor old Nate's having a cough. Andy needs to be hydrated. He's had a big drink of water, Drew. This is really happening. Andy, your thoughts here? Ladies in Red, Tough Tilly. I mean, you've got an investment in Tough Tilly. And the other question is, will Tay have a crack at the start or go back?
Yeah, well, first I agree with everything Clayton said. When Tough Tilly's been able to beat Ladies in Red's been off the back line, and this time she's off the front line. I think Tay might have a little crack early. It's in Albie's nature to do that, so he'll probably come out and have a look. But I think Ladies in Red will probably be too good. I think if you reverse the roles, there's no way Tough Tilly could ever sit outside Ladies in Red and beat her. But Ladies in Red has sat outside Tough Tilly before and beat her, so it will, she's not going to beat her by a long margin, but, I think halfway down the straight it'll be head and head, but she'll just fall too strong in the end.
Andy, you love to give our guests advice and impart your wisdom. Is Clayton too big a dog? You just agree with everything he says? You don't need to give Clayton advice.
There's a couple more questions to come, so if I'm not happy with him, I'll give him a whack.
Ladies in Red or Tough Tilly for you, Nate?
Ladies in Red. Tough Tilly's unlucky. She just run into a champion that year, and Ladies in Red just finds a way to win. Like every time, she's like I say, she's just a freak, and I can't see how they can beat her.
Now, Clayton, Emma made a good analogy during the week on radio that Major Delight and Tempting Tigress is a little bit like Ladies in Red and Tough Tilly. Is it pretty close to the mark?
Yeah, no, they're, it's hard to compare them, but they're all great fillies, and I think the other ones are definitely going in the right direction. That's for sure.
All right, it's been a good, friendly beginning. We've all gotten to know each other a little bit better, which is fantastic. Now it's time to get ugly. Nathan, we already know the answer to this, but we want declarations. Will the captain park the storm like in Homegrown Win? And if he does, is Mark Pitt's time to throw down paper thin? Declare your intentions. Look into the camera. Give us your blue steel and let us know what's going to happen. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to hold the front. I know it's going to be a genuine run race, and I've driven in a lot of races, and you've always got to be careful if you drive to beat one horse. Sometimes you do beat it, but always something beats you. So got to be careful not to overdo it as well. But I know that how much respect the camp have got for theirs and how much respect I've got for theirs. And I know that if I let him go, that I can't beat him. So I'm out there to win, and that's the only way that I can see that I'm a chance to do it. I'm not saying I can do it by doing that, but I know that if I let him go, that I can't win. So that's why I'm not going to let him go.
Have you driven in a lot of races?
A little bit of practice.
Are you going to dictate the tempo, or are you going to let the Lost Storm dictate the tempo?
I think we'll both be pretty happy to run. I think they'll run the first half pretty quick. That's for sure.
Clayton, it's time for the rebuttal. I know, or at least I get a very strong feeling that you believe in that homegrown classic final, that maybe the Lost Storm should have laid down the law a little bit earlier. But when I say paper thin, Mark Pitt's got a big decision to make. I think there's only going to be a little gap there, because if you go too early, you bring Captain's Knock and maybe even Perfect Class into it. And if you go too late, Nath walks away with the prize. And that's not what you want. So talk me through it. Will the Lost Storm win regardless?
I think it's, the barrier draws are in Nathan's horse's favour, but I'm fully confident in our horse. And like you said, it's going to be a quick first half. It's not going to be like the homegrown where, they made it sort of a 4 furlong dash sort of thing. So, if we're not good enough, we're not good enough. But like I say, it's going to be a genuine race, and they'll run some time. I know they even brought out the green hood, the old safari green hood, so he knew what was coming.
That's sensational. As the Lost Storm coach, you're going to say yes, like an AFL footy coach talking about a player that's been through a tough match. But how did he come through that incredibly quick lead time and that brutal run last week, the Lost Storm?
Yeah, he seems good. It's always a concern when you gas the gate like that, and then you've got to back him up. I think probably we're lucky enough that we did nothing at Maryborough, and he had a good blow. Don't worry, it was one of them things where it'll bring him on or it might hurt him. But he seems good this week. But he always works good at home, and only under race pressure you'll really find out if it has harmed him. But I personally don't think it has. So like I say, he'll turn up and he'll be ready to go.
I reckon the Captain's Knock might just be in the right spot. But it's time to bring in the referee, the ombudsman, Mr. Andrew Patrick Gath. Could you please separate the red and blue corners and give your opinion?
Yeah, I think Aaron Dunn will be looking to hold the lead here on Little Lily. And, no, I'm sure if Nathan leads, everyone knows he wants to hold the lead, and that's his only possible way of beating the Lost Storm. It might work, it might not work. They're both great horses, and so is Captain Knock. They're all by Captain Treacherous. Clayton's got some other horses in the race that are in terrific form as well, Technics Watching and Perfect Class. So I wouldn't rule them out as being winning chances, but it's going to be a great contest to see, two great juveniles go hammer and tong. And yeah, I don't really know which court to be in. The faster they go, the harder it is to win off the fence. But Lost Storm was terrific last week, and School Captain's run was terrific as well. So they're both quality horses for the future. But I'm staying out of it between these two. I've got no pick either way.
And Harness Racing's new diplomatic ambassador to Ukraine is Andy Gath. Burning questions, they're not even burning anymore. Somebody's got to put some more gasoline in the fire. You've put it out there, Andy. Question 4. Nathan, has Harry simply drawn to turn the tables on Cravash, or is he different gravy, not forgetting Chubb can bash? I know you've got a huge opinion of Cravash drawing. You're talking tough that he'll be winning again despite the second row draw. What's going to happen in the run, do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what'll happen in the run. I thought Plymouth Chubb will probably get across him early. I think he's just too quick early. And then I'm not too sure what happens. But I'm sort of happy with the draw because I'm already in the running line. I don't have to do any work. I didn't trot that great last week and still beat him really, really easily. I know the times were a lot slower than that, but just the way he done it was really impressive. The way he won the Derby, how easy he won that was impressive as well. I know the other horse, Harry, had to do a lot of work in that. But I just think my horse is really in the zone at the minute, and I think he'll be too good.
If Plymouth Chubb gets across and Harry Stamper doesn't get to the pegs, and you're in behind, do you whip around and make a mid-race move, or do you want Harry Stamper doing the work in the breeze and you use your speed?
Oh, well, you sort of, if you go then, you take a risk that if he parks you, but it doesn't faze me. I think my horse is strong enough and he's fast enough. So it'll all be tempo related, but I'm not going to let him dictate to me, that's for sure.
Anthony Butt wouldn't park you.
No, of course he wouldn't.
He'd just let you go every day of the week. Clayton, thoughts on the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings trotting finals on Saturday night? Clayton, thoughts on the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings trotting final on Saturday night?
Yeah, no, I'm in Nathan's corner a little bit. I think his horse is pretty versatile, and I just think Plymouth Chubb, where he's drawn, he's going to make Harry Stamper burn that sort of first bit to try to find the pegs, and if not, be behind him. Try to kick up and hold him. So it's not going to be just an easy lead for Harry Stamper, and if Plymouth Chubb hadn't drawn where he was, I just would have thought Harry Stamper would have been the one to beat because he would have controlled it. But with where he's drawn, I'm sure he'll make him, make a few decisions early. So I think the other horse has got a few more strings to his bow, and I'm in his corner, to be honest.
There are a few Breeders' Crowns above those pristine white cabinets there. I saw a few trophies up there. Any Breeders' Crowns?
Yeah, I don't know. There is a few trophies, but I don't know really what they are. So
there's one big silver one that looks like it's from. There's one big silver one that looks like it's from 1953 up there. I didn't know you'd been training that long, to be honest, Clayton. But it's
might be my old man's Hunter Cup from.
That's not.
What is it? Yeah, I'm not sure.
2003.
2003. There you are.
Mildura
Cup.
Emma's got an Excel spreadsheet itemising all of the trophies in the house and knows exactly where they are. Andy, thoughts on Cravash Door versus Plymouth Chubb versus Harry Stamper?
Yeah, Cravash Door sort of showed in the derby, even though he had the barrier draw, how good he is. He broke the track record and done it so easily. And yeah, I think he's definitely the one to beat. I think he opened up pretty big in the market, and by the time the race comes around, he probably starts favourite. So yeah, I think he's definitely the one to beat. The other two are going to do a little bit of work early. But yeah, Nathan's got plenty of ammunition to put him in the race whenever he wants to, and I think he'll get the job done.
I'll go with Harry Stamper, and I'll expect a text straight away after the race of Cravash Door wins from Nathan Jack as he attacks me with his razor. Final question of the burning questions as we lead towards the Breeders' Crown finals. This is straight to Clayton. Has Amore landed gate to reassume her throne, or is the Classic Fillies final in ciphers to own? I believe Emma may have thrown you slightly under the vehicle during the week, suggesting that she was within cipher, but maybe you thought Amore Vita could win. Was she accurate, Clayton?
No, I honestly think that in cipher is the one to beat. She's a quality filly, and I can't see any pressure in the race. So it's just one of them things where in Cypher will cross her. There'll be no pressure. And I just can't see how she could beat her for speed up the lane, because in Cypher, she's one of them ones where you can get close to her, but you can't get past her. And going through the heats, she had pretty soft run at Bendigo, had a soft run again last Saturday night, and I think everything's steered her in the right direction to be, 100% for Saturday night. And I can't see him beating in Cypher myself.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. It's a stone cold stinking certainty in Cypher. I couldn't get, but I'll tell you who's improving quickly. Interject.
Yeah, no, she's her sectionals last week were terrific, and she sort of got up the track a little bit in the home straight, and she would have been she probably would have run second. So she's a sister to Mate Mine Cullen. She's a quality filly.
Andy will try and talk it up and make a race out of it, but in Cypher can't get beat, can she?
Well, they can all get beat, but you think on form she'll be too good for him. She's going to find the top. Moro Vita was really good on the clock last week off the track, and obviously going to appreciate the barrier draw. This is a legitimate horse race. You think there's only hopes, and I'm with Clayton. I think in Cypher will get the job done.
Nath?
Oh, yeah, I think in Cypher's unbeatable myself. Maybe if it was back at the start of the year, it might have been a bit different race, but I don't think Amore Vita's quite going as good as she was early on in the season. I can't see any way they'll beat in Cypher. I think it's just a moral.
Before we get to the best bets, Clayton, is Encipher like a real top class filly, or has she found a slow, well, definitely an easier generation than Ladies in Red, but is it an easier generation or is she really top class?
No, she's real high class. Early in the season, we took her to Globe Derby. I think she went 52 in the Oaks. You got to be high class to go like that. And we trialled her against horses like Beyond the Light and that at Geelong one night. Andy would probably remember this. Kate drove it, and she went past Beyond the Light, and I said, "Geez, I was disappointed. I think she went 53.5." And you got to be high quality to do that sort of thing. And I think she's high quality.
Andy may not remember. He's had a really tough year. He's been sick a few times. He might have got encephalitis, so there was some swelling of the brain. He might not remember that, Clayton, but hopefully he does. Best bets, please. Nathan Jack.
Cravash Door and Ludicrous the place.
Miss X can run a place as well?
Yeah, it can, but
Third.
probably don't need them to run homes that quick, because then the ones out wide will still be a chance. If they run a real quick third quarter and that, then it stops the back markers getting into it. But if they just run one quarter, then it's going to be hard from 3 fence to make any ground. But yeah, she's a place chance, I'm sure.
Clayton, I'm not letting you get away with anything around $1.20 here, mate. I need a best bet, but I need one that maybe we can sink our teeth into, or a little multi like we've got from old Nath over there.
All right. Naratak Prince.
To win?
Yeah.
Is Zach now all right? Could you bring him into the kitchen so we can have a look at him? Is he okay?
No, he's good. I just think it's a little bit of a tricky race, and Nathan's got one that's drawn in between them. I think they'll be punching out early, and I just think that it's one of them things where they'll be burning for the first bit, and I just think he's a sleeper. I think the horse is going really good, and both them all four of them horses are all quality horses, I just think he's a real good chance.
For a bit of value, I'm going to throw in, and Nate, just take your AirPods out for a second. Aldebaran Keeper to win the first race is my best. I'm on a little bit of a streak, which I was on a big losing streak. Now I've turned it around. Andy, your best, please, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going with Nathan and with Cravash Door. I think it'd be too good for him.
God bless you all. You're all wonderful people. We got through that, didn't we? Maybe we won't be talking after a couple of races on Saturday night, but now we can all feel happy and anticipate what's going to be a great night of racing. Well done, Nathan. Well done, Andy. And good on you, Clayton.
Thanks, boys.
Au revoir, beautiful men. That's been Burning Questions. Hopefully we found you some winners, and enjoy a great night of racing on Saturday night at Tabcorp Park Melton.